Have you ever wondered how a piece of candy turns into that perfect hook shape you see at Christmas? Today we're going on a sweet adventure to see how candy makers create candy canes. We'll watch hot candy get twisted into red and white stripes like a rope. We'll see a giant candy log get stretched until it's as thin as your finger. And we'll discover how they bend straight candy into that special curved shape while it's still warm. By the end, you'll know exactly how these yummy treats are made from start to finish. Welcome to Goalie's PIP Academy. Let's start our candy cane journey in a special kitchen called a candy factory. This isn't like your kitchen at home. Oh no, this kitchen is huge with giant pots that are taller than you. And guess what? The whole place smells like peppermint and sugar. The candy makers start super early in the morning, even before the sun comes up. They put on special white hats to keep everything clean. Then they gather their ingredients. Want to know what goes into candy canes? It's actually pretty simple. They use sugar, lots and lots of sugar. They also add corn syrup, which is a thick, sticky liquid that's sweet like honey. And here's the special part. Peppermint oil. That's what gives candy canes their minty taste that makes your mouth feel cool and tingly. The candy makers pour all these ingredients into those giant pots I told you about. Then they turn up the heat, way, way up. The mixture needs to get super hot, even hotter than boiling water. The sugar starts to melt and bubble, turning into a thick, gooey liquid that looks like lava. While the candy is cooking, something amazing happens. The sugar changes. It becomes smooth and flows like a river of sweetness. This is when they add the colors. For candy canes, they need red and white. Well, actually, the candy is already kind of white when it cools a bit because of all the air that gets mixed in when they pull it. But for the red stripes, they add special food coloring. They pour the red coloring onto part of the candy and leave the other part white. It's like having two different colors of Play-Doh, but much stickier and stretchier. All right, let's test your knowledge with a quick quiz. What special ingredient gives candy canes their cool, tingly taste? A. Vanilla extract. B. Peppermint oil. C. Lemon juice. D. Cinnamon powder. If you said B, then well done. That's absolutely right.
Hey, you're watching Goalie's PIP Academy, where we teach about science, geography, history, everything about the whole world. If you want to watch these classes with no ads, no distractions, go to getgoalie.com.
Let's keep going with our candy adventure. They pick up the warm candy, and yes, now it's cool enough to touch with special gloves. And they start to pull it. Every time they pull it, tiny air bubbles get trapped inside, making the candy look whiter and whiter. The candy is thick and heavy, like trying to stretch the thickest, gooeyest slime you've ever played with. What do they do next? Start twisting. Twist, 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 like you're making a rope. As they twist the two colors together, the stripes start to appear. But wait, the candy is still huge at this point. How does it become the thin candy canes we know? The candy makers grab each end of this giant candy rope and start pulling it apart, making it longer and longer. And the amazing part? The stripes stay perfect the whole time. They get thinner too, creating that spiral pattern we love. All right, it's time for second quiz. True or false? The red and white stripes on candy canes are made by twisting two colors of hot candy together like a rope. If you say true, then well done. That's absolutely right. Excellent thinking, everyone. Now let's see how these long, straight pieces of candy become the curved candy canes we hang on Christmas trees. The candy is still a little bit warm and bendy at this point, kind of like a cooked noodle that's not completely cool yet. The candy makers have to work quickly. They use special cutting tools to chop the long candy rope into smaller pieces. But they're still straight, so how do they get that famous hook shape? This is my favorite part. While the candy pieces are still warm and slightly bendy, the candy makers carefully curve the top part. They bend it into that shepherd's hook shape. You know, the curvy part at the top that looks like an upside-down letter J. They have to be super gentle because if they bend it too fast, it might break. And if they wait too long and the candy gets too cold, it won't bend at all. It'll just snap like a stick. Some factories have special machines that help bend hundreds of candy canes at the same time. The machines have little forms shaped like candy canes, and they gently press the warm candy into the right shape. But in some places, people still bend them by hand, one at a time. Can you imagine bending hundreds of candy canes every day? Your fingers would definitely get tired. After the candy canes have their perfect shape, they need to cool down completely. The candy makers spread them out on big trays and let them rest. As they cool, something magical happens. They get harder and harder until they're completely solid. They go from bendy like a noodle to hard and crunchy like a candy cane. Once the candy canes are completely cool and hard, they're ready for the final steps. First, they get wrapped up to keep them fresh and clean. Most candy canes get wrapped in clear plastic that twists at both ends. Have you ever noticed how the plastic crinkles when you unwrap a candy cane? That's to keep all that minty freshness inside. The wrapping machines are super fast. They can wrap hundreds of candy canes in just 1 minute. The candy canes zoom along a conveyor belt, and the machine wraps each one perfectly. It's like watching a super speedy present wrapping robot. After they're wrapped, the candy canes get packed into boxes. Some go into those boxes you see at the store with 12 candy canes all lined up. Others get packed into special holiday tins or bags. And the really big ones, you know, those giant candy canes that are as tall as you, those get special packaging all to themselves. It's time for our last quiz. What shape is the top of a candy cane curved into? A, a circle. B, a square. C, a hook or upside down letter J. D, a heart. If you said C, a hook or upside down letter J, then well done. That's absolutely right. Yes! The next time you hold a candy cane, remember the amazing journey it went through. It started as plain sugar and syrup, got cooked until it was super hot, had colors twisted into it like a rope, got stretched from a giant log into a thin stick, and was carefully bent into that perfect hook shape while it was still warm. That's a lot of work for one little piece of candy. So there you have it, friends. Now you know exactly how candy canes are made, from the sweet, bubbling beginning to the perfectly curved end. You're officially candy cane experts. The next time someone asks you how candy canes get their stripes or their shape, you can tell them all about the twisting, pulling, stretching, and bending that goes into every single one. Thanks for joining me on this sweet adventure at PIP Academy.
My mind is blown! Where can I learn more about these videos? Oh yeah, getgoalie.com. There's no ads, there's no junk, just cool stuff for kids and a dedicated tablet. Check it out, getgoalie.com.